May I have a motion to excuse Board Clerk Dr. Michael Eugenio from the board meeting tonight due to a personal obligation?
So moved. Beach.
Second, Nishi.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. May I have a motion to excuse Board Member Dr. Olga Rios from the board meeting tonight due to a personal obligation?
So moved. Nishi.
Second, Apodaca.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Roll call, Natalie?
President Su Yu,
Present.
Vice President Mr. Beach,
Present.
Board Member Dr. Apodaca,
Here.
Board Member Mr. Nishii,
Present.
Board Member Sophia Say.
She's on her way.
Thank you.
Good evening, and welcome back to school. This evening, we will be discussing the following items in closed session: public employee discipline, dismissal, release, evaluation, campus safety and security officer, conference with labor negotiator, update on negotiations with ABCFT, ABSME, and CSEA, student discipline, deliberation on one student expulsion matter pursuant to Education Code Section 48918C1. Are there any public comments on the closed session items? None. May I have a motion to move to closed session?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
to memory I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. If I had money enough to spend and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips alone she holds my heart enthralled. Then
welcome to this new school year. The board is back in open session. May I have a motion?
So moved by Sophia.
May I have a motion to excuse Board Clerk Dr. Michael Eugenio from the board meeting tonight due to a personal obligation?
So moved.
Second by Sophia.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. May I have a motion to excuse board member Dr. Olga Rios from the board meeting tonight due to a personal obligation?
So moved, Apodaca.
Second, Nishi.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Please silence your cell phones. We welcome public comments, and anybody wishing to make a public comment must fill out a card on the table to my left. All public comments are to be made during the public comments section or at the time an item is presented and must be done before the item is discussed. Each comment must be no more than 5 minutes. Oh, it's so good to see all the new students here. Okay. Tonight in closed session, the board discussed public employee discipline, dismissal, release, evaluation, campus safety and security officer, conference with labor negotiator, update on negotiations with ABCFT, AFSCME, and CSEA. Final action on student expulsion matter pursuant to Education Code 48918J. May I have a motion and a second based on, upon the board's review in closed session, the board accepts the recommendation for expulsion in student expulsion case number 21225 and orders the student expelled based on the violation of Education Codes 48900A1 and 48900A2. May I have a motion?
So moved, Beach.
Second by Sophia.
The board adopted the recommended rehabilitation plan. The board sets its regular board meeting of June 2023 as the date on which the board will review the student for readmission. Okay, I'm going to call on students. Oh, okay, may I have a vote?
You have the name for call.
Yeah, roll call.
Roll call.
Dr. Apodaca?
Yes.
Mr. Beach?
Yes.
Mr. Nishii?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, I'm going to call on students from Gonzalez Elementary School to lead us in the pledge.
Good evening. My name is Joshua Chung, and we are sixth graders at Gonzalez Elementary. Thank you for giving us the honor of being here tonight. Now please rise as the flags enter. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as the flags exit. You may be seated. We are here on behalf of Gonzalez Elementary Student Council, and we are under the leadership of 5th grade teacher Ms. Ortiz, 6th grade teacher Mrs. Gonzalez, and our principal, Mr. Banco. Thank you for letting us be here at the first board meeting of the school year. Now please welcome Quinn Ortiz.
Gonzalez Elementary School is named after Joe A. Gonzalez, a highly respected community member. In September of 1972, students and teachers walked from Stowers Elementary to Gonzalez Elementary for their first day of the brand new school. Our school takes great pride in upholding his reputation for respect and responsibility, and we are so excited to celebrate our school's 50th anniversary. Not only are we celebrating our school's anniversary, we also have something else exciting to share. The ABCUSD Elementary Reading Olympics is an annual friendly competition amongst 4th through 6th graders. It promotes an enthusiasm for reading and collaboration through teamwork. Gonzalez students and staff were so proud of the students at our school that participated and won the title of the Reading Olympics champions for the 2021 through 2022 school year. I now present Dia Cepeda.
Good evening. Our school focuses on our education to become informed and productive 21st century citizens. Everyone works together to create a friendly learning environment and celebrate each student's achievements. We have received the National Blue Ribbon Award multiple years and are a California Distinguished School Award recipient. We also have been honored to receive the California Business for Education Excellence Honor Roll for the last several years. Thank you. Now, Brindley Ward.
Not only are we proud of our achievements, but we are also proud of our diverse culture, and that's why we celebrate Taste of Gonzalez. This activity is one of our school's favorite celebrations. This event brings cultures together with food and games. For school spirit, each Friday we wear our Gonzalez shirts, or red, white, or blue. We pride ourselves on our school slogan, once a grizzly, always a grizzly. We take pride in our school and we aren't afraid to show it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Gonzalez, Grizzly Bears. Now, I want to congratulate you guys because you guys are the first school this school year to lead us in the pledge. And I love your shirt colors. Where are your parents? Can we have all the Gonzalez parents come in and stand up? Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Any board comments? We have board member, Dr. Apodaca.
Thank you, Madam President. I felt bad because the parents were in the hallway trying to record on their phones. Just so you know, you're always welcome to come up here. This is a public building. It's your building. You can come up here and you can record them with your phones. Also, since it's already too late because it passed, unless you guys want to do it again. No? Okay. You can also go online on YouTube, and it's pretty good quality, so you can watch the whole thing from there, and you can, splice it and all that. You guys did a great job, and I joined the Madam President with saying, congratulations on being the first school. It's a great way for us to start off. We love to see your smiling faces. We're so glad that you're here. And parents, thank you for doing what you do. Obviously, it's a little after dinner time. We all have busy lives, so just want to thank you. Keep being involved in the lives of your students, and kids, keep on coming back. You're always welcome to our meetings as well. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Next, we have board member Ernie Nishi.
And I'll be really quick. So yes, this is the best part of the meeting, when we have the kids, the students actually give us articulate pledge of allegiance, not just us board members, but it's all about you guys and you, the parents. And so I think it just makes me smile. So thank you very much. It's a great way to start the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Boys and girls, you guys did an excellent job with your speech. Keep it up. Keep up the good speech. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening. Election of secretary to the board. I would like to recommend and nominate Mr. Tuan Nguyen, interim superintendent, as secretary to the Board of Education. If there are no objections, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nguyen. You are the secretary.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we have recognitions tonight. Adult School LVN Program. ABC Adult School Principal Nancy Amara. Thank you. And we will have Dr. Apodaca will hand out the certificates to the students.
I think you should do it, Madam President, on behalf of the board. I'm just glad that we're acknowledging them and all they've come through to be here. Or I'm happy to do it either way, but let me know.
Okay.
Good evening, President Yu, Vice President Beach, board members, Interim Superintendent Nguyen, cabinet members, and the community. I'm Nancy Amara, Principal of ABC Adult School. I'm pleased this evening to acknowledge 8 ABC Adult School students who have graduated from Pacific College with an Associate of Science and Vocational Nursing degree. In 2019, ABC Adult School formed a partnership with Pacific College to offer several general education courses at ABC Adult School so that ABC Adult School students could transfer up to 45 units of college credit to receive a break in tuition costs. Many of the students who took the general education classes at ABC Adult School were from our community and became ABC Adult School students while taking the general education classes. A handful of students who enrolled were currently taking classes at ABC Adult School. The first cohort that started in 2019 recently graduated. There were 27 graduates who are community members, and 8 of these graduates are former ABC Adult School students whom the Board of Education would like to recognize. I want to congratulate each of you for your dedication and hard work. Merva Asilam. Okay, Deja Davis. Angela Fu. Nadine Maciel. Grace Moniz. April Sanchez. And Paolo Tilla.
Comments. Our board members are super excited about the program. Okay, we're going to start with Sophia Say.
I think Pacific College back in 2019 or 2018, my dream to be a board member, I always want to have LVN program here. We have Nurses Aid program. I'm a nurse. I'm a clinical nurse specialist and pediatric nurse practitioner. So, and I've been kind of fighting back and forth with the district trying to say, hey, we need a program, we need it, especially for adults school. We have a lot of students out there looking for some, a gap to go on what they need to do. I say LVN will be, we have Nurses Aid, but we don't have LVN. If we have LVN program, eventually we can go on to RN and ADN, and I'm teaching ADN program. And I'm encouraging my students to get a bachelor's degree. So I work, trying to get it done. And so I talked to Pacific College, the owner. I say, how about this? I'll give you a free 1-year lecture. So I teach some courses, not the whole year for free though, okay? And they end up paying me. I say, the only thing I want you to come here to set up the program here, the LVN program. So they start using our facility, use all the equipment that we use here. And I want a special thank you to Pauline and Nancy. These two are really working hard. It's not easy, especially when you use some Saturday school here, additional labor costs, but they're willing to take that. But the issue is they bought the program in here, and then we use them, and they give a lot of new equipment there for us to use in order to get more students, in order to provide the best service to our local community, especially for folks like you folks working and still can go to school part-time and get your degree done, which is I really want to say thank you to Ms. Wu. She was the one help us set it up, a lot of really free, and they even help you get financial aid on that matter. So I'm so glad one of my dreams become true. So I think the time for me to get out. No, just kidding. No, so that was my dream, and I want to thank you to my colleague here too, support it. I think board member Nishi, remember the LVN, he was so into it. And he said, yes, we need, and then our board member Abdaka also said that, and then we have new board member in. we are 100% support our adult school for LVN program. And I special thank you for you folks and take the challenge and go into the program, and you did it. I'm looking forward to see you to go to LVN program. I'm teaching college, and you'll feel free to contact me. I'll be definitely help you to continue education. Thank you. Thank you, President.
Thank you. Next, we have Board Member Dr. Apodaca.
Thank you, Madam President. So I've received many emails from your cohort over the years. I remember once pandemic first hit, you guys couldn't find a place to go because you had to go to county hospital, right? It took a lot of, for sure, perseverance on your end. And so folks who don't know, we have a nursing program. You can go to LVN. You can go from LVN, you correct me if I'm wrong, right? LVN to BSN, correct? And that's also through Pacific College, which we've partnered with. I'd like to take some time to thank Leo Perez from Ultimed. Did either of you work with him?
No, but we had classmates that.
Okay, so he took in, he's a community resident here in Cerritos. He took in 4 interns, I believe, right? Four LVN interns there because we needed more clinical sites. And he answered a plea from us, hey, our current clinical site isn't letting folks in for hours because of COVID. And that was, so what happens? Does the program come to a stop or do we get creative? And he stepped up. He's on the Council of Physicians for Ultimed, and they were able to offer Ultimed as a site, and they didn't have to drive to County Hospital. It's Riverside, right? Which is actually Moreno Valley, but it's County Hospital for Riverside. They could go here to Anaheim, which is a lot closer. So, they patched it together. I imagine it was frustrating and stressful on your end, not just for you, but for your families. But hopefully, now that you had your pinning ceremony, you got to spend time with your families and your friends, you have that confidence to continue to move forward. And please say good things about the program, because your experience, I know, was difficult, had challenges, but hopefully, now that we're on the tail end of this pandemic, it won't be the same case moving forward. And I would encourage you to tell other people, right, where you got that education, and be a resource for them, and stay here. This is your community. We're your school district. And always feel free to reach out to all of us. We're your biggest supporters and cheerleaders. Congratulations on making it, and we look forward to you guys coming back and telling us about the next great thing in your life, okay? Great. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And congratulations and good luck. Next, I'd like to take this time to recognize our interim superintendent. We passed, we voted in last year, board meeting, but today is actually the first meeting that, interim superintendent Tuan Nguyen is having a meeting with us up in Dias, and very smooth transition because he's already been very familiar and doing pretty similar things that he's doing now. So we're very thankful for this transition and bringing stability, to our district. So I'm going to call on Tuan Nguyen to introduce and our newly promoted and newly hired administrators. Okay.
Thank you, Board President Yu. Good evening. Tonight, it's my honor to introduce to you the newly promoted and hired administrators for ABC. The board approved these individuals at the last board meeting on August 16th, so tonight I would like to introduce them to the board. First up, please, Dr. Ricardo Lois. So Dr. Lois is our new Director of Secondary Schools. He's been in public education for 22 years, joining ABC in 2004. He was a counselor at Cerritos High School, Fetty Middle School. He was a dean at Fetty Middle School and the assistant principal at Fetty Middle School. And of course, for the past 10 years, he was principals at both Fetty Middle Schools and Gar High School, 7 years at Fetty and 3 years at Gar. So during his time, he has earned the following awards: Avid Highly Certified Schools for Fetty Middle School, the California Distinguished School Award for Gar High School, the PBIS Coalition Bronze Level Implementation Award for Fetty Middle School, the Education Results Partnership Honor Roll for both Fetty and Gar High School, the National Forum for Middle Schools, Schools to Watch for Fetty Middle Schools, And last but not least, he has been named the AXA Region 14 Secondary Principal School of the Year for 2022. So Dr. Lois.
Good evening, Board President Yu, Vice President Beach, esteemed board members, and Interim Superintendent Nguyen. Thank you for your confidence in accepting my promotion to the Director of Secondary Schools in Child Welfare and Attendance. I've served in education, as Mr. Nguyen said, for around 23 years, if you count everything that I've done, and 18 of those years have been with the ABC Unified School District. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to have more responsibility in my role, and my goal every day when I go into work, regardless of what my role is to support students, staff members, and our communities. And that's what I'll continue to do, with an emphasis on our award-winning secondary schools, which do tremendous work with our students, and to support our very hardworking child welfare and attendance unit. I'd be remiss not to acknowledge my colleagues over the years and my mentors, and my family who's in attendance, who lets me go to work every day and do what I do, even though sometimes I'm not at home for what they do. So again, thank you, and I look forward to working and supporting our schools in this capacity.
Thank you. Yes.
Ricardo, do you have your family here? Yeah. Oh, can you please have them stand up?
Introduce them.
Uh-huh. Oh. Okay. Ricardo, can you come up here again? Because we have some board comments. Wow, and thank you very much, beautiful ladies.
Yeah, my wife Roxanne, Natalie, who's 18.
Can you stand up again once more, please?
Thank you. Embarrass them a bit too. Natalie, who's my 18-year-old, she's going to UCR in a few weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. Elisa, she is a freshman. And Ricardo Lois Jr., he's a 7th grader.
Thank you. Thank you, family. Yeah. I know you never see him. Yeah. He belongs to ABC. We have board member Sophia Say.
I have to say something about you, Dr. Lewis. I can see from the beginning you start working here, and you yourself is so motivated, and you just keep going and going on and on and on. I really want to thank you those years that you were at high school, and you and I worked together for one project, the grass that we got for free. And then he was kind of a little frustrated to know how to approach the people, but the grass is free from the El Camino College. And Dr. Lewis worked with the staff and get it done, and now they have so beautiful grass. I don't know about now. The weather's so hot. I hope they're still green. I meant to go there one day, take a picture. But you are willing to work with us, and you are take a challenge, and you take the hit and get it done. I want to just publicly announce that, how great that you are. And you also is a family man, I know that. Every time Wagar has some activity, Ricardo always bring his son with him, even though it's a lay program there, and he's there and with the father. I think that's so make a difference in there of who you are, not just only devoted to school, but you also devoted to the family. I want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, you let me out. You come here, not a Gar High, but I know we have a new principal here. I'm looking forward to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, President.
Congratulations. And what does it say about ABC? 20 years in our district. What does it say about our district? People like to work at a winning district and stay in our district. So thank you very much. And Ricardo also has both sides. Discipline, you could tell he's has a he poses like a sergeant, and also love, right? This position is going to be highly stressful, a lot of problem solving. So thank you very much, and thank you to your family, because they won't see much of you. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a great year. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Next is the new Gar High School principal, Mr. Jeffrey Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez received his bachelor degree in history from UC Riverside, a master's degree in education from UC Irvine, and currently enrolling in his doctoral program at USC. Mr. Hernandez was actually kind of a product of ABC. He completed his elementary and middle schools here in ABC, at both Ferguson and Haskell Middle School. He began working in public schools 12 years ago as a social science teacher at Pioneer High School and a teacher in Whittier Union and then working in Irvine School District at Creekside High School. Recently, he's been an assistant principal at Irvine High School and supposedly Portola High School in this coming year. He has been working as a summer school principal and has gained extensive experience in leading professional learning for teachers, leading the PBIS program and MTSS programs and committees, students' academic and counseling and credit recovery programs, athletic programs, and school facilities. Mr. Hernandez, welcome to ABC.
Thank you very much, President Tsuyu, Vice President Beach, distinguished board members, Interim Superintendent Tuan Nguyen. Thank you very much for having me today. I would be remiss if I didn't, point out my family and my support system at GAR who are here today. Thank you very much. I am deeply honored and humbled to have been selected as principal of GAR High School. Thinking about the genesis of when I first thought that, hey, that principal job seems pretty cool, actually takes me back to Ferguson Elementary and seeing Mr. Dominguez. I always felt that he was willing to help out all students. He gave you that nice, courageous hi on the way in, said have a great day on the way out, and visited our classrooms often, and that's always kept with me. Fast forward to 2022, and I'm excited about returning to the ABC School District that has had such a positive impact in my life. I hope to lead GAR with passion and drive to ensure that our gladiators have a similar experience that will serve them in their post-secondary endeavors. I hope all of you have a great evening, and thank you for such a warm welcome into ABC.
Mr. Hernandez, can you introduce your parents?
Yeah, so my mom right here, Maria Angelica, she's been a teacher at Willow for 30 years. She's still there. My dad, Juan Hernandez, who also worked in the district as an IA back in the 90s. I also have thank you. I have my brother, Jamie Hernandez, who's here. And then right next to them, I have my girlfriend, Mina Cisneros. And then I have my cousins who are here, Lily and Anna. Thank you so much. And then I also have my GAR crew. Can please stand up?
Yay, please stand up, GAR family. Yay.
Counselors, administrators, everybody here. Miss Morris in the back. I saw Nancy right there. Thank you so much for the support.
Thank you very much, and congratulations. We have some board comments. First, we have Vice President Brad Beach.
As a former gladiator from the class of 1993, I'd like to welcome you to becoming a gladiator. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank
you. Well, thank you for coming back to this amazing district.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you'll do fantastic with great mentors. Just in this room, you have, Luis Ricardo, who was also principal, so you have great mentors. So have a great year. Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to parents.
Next, we have the new principal at Whitney High School, Miss Tuesday Stolfers. Ms. Stolfers has been, actually, let me go back a little bit. She has her bachelor degree in biology from UC San Diego, her master's degree in education from CSU Dominguez Hills, and currently enrolling in a doctoral program at USC. So, Ms. Stolfers began working in public education 23 years ago as a teacher in Englewood Unified, and she came to ABC in 2005. During her tenure here, she worked as a science teacher at Teslop Middle School. She was a science department chair. She was a summer school principal. She was the magnet coordinator before becoming a dean of student in 2013. She was then assistant principals at Teslop and then principals at Teslop most recently. Right? During her time as principal, Ms. Stolfers worked with her staff to earn redesignation as the middle schools to watch for Teslop Middle School, the California Business for Education Excellence Award, and also the redesignation as a string board, national demonstration school with the College Board. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President Sue Yu, Vice President Brad Beach, esteemed board members, Interim Superintendent Nguyen, Cabinet, and community. I couldn't have done a better summary of my career than our interim superintendent, so thank you for that. But I do like to share, although I've only been at Whitney since the beginning of the school year, I've had the warmest welcome from the Whitney team. And I've already feel like I'm part of the Whitney family, and I feel like I've been there for years. With the support of our Dean of Students, Kimberly Andrew, I'd like to share with the board that we have welcomed our new assistant principal, Dr. Andrea Chang-Sa, to the team. I have met with each teacher at Whitney individually to ask how I can support them with their vision for their classrooms. I've attended various parent meetings that include PTSA, our Whitney Parent Foundation, and the Association of Chinese Parents for Whitney Excellence. This past weekend, I watched our girls' varsity volleyball team defeat Catella High School, and I had the opportunity to run with, yes, I said run with, our Whitney cross-country team in this amazing weather we've been having. And we did that at the Great Cow Run, which was held at Artesia High School. The school year is off to a running start. I would like to thank the support, or I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity to serve as Whitney High School's principal. Our district is facing many changes, and we have new faces in new positions. Although change is good, I intend to support the continued success Whitney has had over the years. At Whitney, we will continue to challenge and nurture the best and brightest students in our district as we prepare them to attend some of the top universities in the world. As I stand here and reflect on how I came here to be here tonight, I would like to thank those who have continued to support me in my personal life and in my career. My husband, John Stoffers, and our daughter, Gia, who are both here tonight. Our four-legged furry child, Dallas. We purposely left her at home for the sanity of all in the room. Team Whitney and my personal team of doctors who have mentored me over the years and continue to support me. Dr. Mary Sue, Dr. Valencia Mayfield, Dr. Krishina Wise, Dr. Gina Zietlow, and Dr. Colin Sprigg. I thank you. It takes a village, and because of my village, I thankfully stand before you tonight as the proud principal of Whitney High School. Go Wildcats.
Can you have all your family members stand and introduce them?
There's only two of us here tonight. My husband, John, and our daughter, Gia.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We have board comment. Sophia, say.
I just want to tell you, Miss Tuesday, I knew since test love. I met you at that time. I love you already. That moment when you greeting us there, you kind of guiding us about the school program. You know everything already to me at that time. And parent had a really good comment on you. For this time, I was lucky to be choose the panel to find the best teacher to fit in Whitney High School. I choose three major people. One is a PTA for the Spanish group for Whitney High School, and the other one PTA for Chinese group, and the third one is a Korean group. So with that three, they all vote for you. They say you're the best fit for their school. I just want the public to know the decision really made by the parent first. Of course, our administrator also involved it. You are the one that people want you to be there, and I want to thank you to serve Whitney High School. It's not easy, but I absolutely agree you will handle well. And I already see that. I already heard good thing about you already. They say you're very sweet. I'm thinking, ooh, I don't know about that. Thank you, though. And your daughter's pretty. Pretty.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we have board member Ernie Nishi.
Big shoes to fill, but I know you can fill them. Brand new science building, former science teacher, and a great community. I know you can take us to the next level, and we'll be expecting that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Stuffers have a very firm and sweet smile. Yeah. So it's not an easy school, but you have a very strong background, and I have no doubt that you'll do an excellent job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Last, we have the new principal at Aloha Elementary School, Dr. Paul Delgado. Dr. Delgado has his bachelor degree in communication from Cal State Long Beach, the master's degree in education from Cal State Long Beach, and earned his doctorate degree in K-12 leadership in urban schools from USC. Dr. Delgado began working in public schools 16 years ago and worked as an elementary school teacher in Long Beach Unified. In 2015, he was named the principal for the Slauson Academy and served in that capacity for the last 7 years. Dr. Delgado was named to the Phi Kappa Phi International Honor Society at both Cal State Long Beach and USC. Welcome to ABC.
Thank you. Good evening, President Yu, Vice President Beach, board members, Interim Superintendent Nguyen, Executive Cabinet, and community members. Thank you for providing me this opportunity to be part of an enormous network. I look at the map and I just continue to be fascinated by the story within the district here. There are so many great educators, leaders, students, individuals that are interconnected and working together. It's my third week, and I hit the ground running, and it's been, every day I leave with a smile right now, and the work isn't easy, but to walk into a school and feel this overwhelming sense of pride, to be able to call myself a dolphin, is refreshing. I have with me my two biggest cheerleaders, my office secretary Kim and my supervisor Melinda. Thank you for supporting me. In leadership meetings just today, I stopped and told a few of my colleagues, I appreciate just the leadership in one room and how each of them, they step up to share their voice, their ideas, their opinions, and it's refreshing and it feels great. I can't wait to see where the year takes us. It's been a pleasure getting to know the students, connecting with them. The parents, back to school night last Friday, we had a full house, lots of smiles and lots of cheer and excitement. I have so many great things I want to bring to the school already, but I gotta slow down a little bit, just a little bit. I was sitting in the HR office with Gina and Nicole, and I was reading through a lot of the handbooks, and I stopped, and Melinda walked in, and I looked at her and I said, my gosh, my interview, you would think that I read through the handbook before I went into the interview, because every framework, concept, model, structure, system that I shared in my interview is part of the work that you all have been building as a team, and I'm happy to be here. Can't wait to succeed and take Aloha to new heights. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Do you have your family here?
I have my two biggest cheerleaders with me.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
My family is way up north, so.
Okay. Good. We have some board comments. We have board member Dr. Chris Apodaca.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, first, I wanted to say fight on. Good going, Trojan. And what can I say? USC really puts out quality caliber professionals, as we've noticed today.
We heard you.
So I wanted to say congratulations. Aloha's a very, it's a very tight community, and it has, I love visiting when we visit the different schools, each one has its own personality, and so it seems like you have obviously the aptitude because you graduated from USC, but also the character, and I imagine the patience, right? Because it is such a diverse community, and it's kind of just wedged right there, you know, in between the different cities. So congratulations, and we look forward to seeing good things from you. And you can count on us eventually dropping by to say hello and see how everything's going. And if you need help, feel free to reach out. Just not Board Member Say, because she's a Bruin. She's our crosstown rival. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, Mr. Delgado, I was just very impressed and thankful that you were coming into work so excited. That's the kind of enthusiasm that we need, you know, and the kids had a tough few years, so it's a lot of work for everybody, but I hope that you can keep up and maximize your enthusiasm, and a lot of work to do, and don't be shy of doing new things. And you have super duper support around you, so okay, so keep up and hope you can stay with us a long time.
Thank you so much. If I could just comment on your statement about diversity. I thought I had experienced diversity in a classroom and with the school, but it wasn't until I, visited Aloha and I had my students there at the school site on the first day I walked in, and it was truly the definition of diversity in the classrooms. And it's so beautiful because there's so much funds of knowledge to use as leverage to build and grow. So yes, I'm excited. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sure, just like our board too.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve the agenda for the regular meeting of September 6, 2022?
So moved, Apodaca.
Second by Sophia.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Natalie, I need to abstain, please.
Oh.
Oh, the agenda.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Next, we have minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 16, 2022?
So moved by Sophia.
Second, Apodaca.
Okay. All in favor?
So I have to
Roll call.
abstain too.
You have to abstain.
Roll call it.
Yeah. Roll call?
Dr. Apodaca?
Yes.
Mr. Beach?
Abstain.
Mr. Nishi?
Abstain.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion fails 302.
Okay. It's because they were absent. It's all right. Yeah. No worries. Good evening and welcome to a new school year. We are so pleased to have students back at school. I have been visiting schools and I'm impressed with what I've seen. Students are engaged in learning and our amazing teachers are hard at work providing them with the essential knowledge that they will need to be successful. This year is a bit different than past years for many reasons. One reason is the new school start times. We know this has caused some issues for families, especially elementary school. Due to a new California law, all secondary schools must start later. This law created a ripple effect that impacted our elementary school start times as well. As you might imagine, when one school start time changes, it impacts many things from school nutrition services to transportation to staff working hours. Many things had to be considered before the start of the school year. We will learn from this year and make adjustments where we are able to do so. We'll do our best. And soon I will be sharing a welcome video with our students, families, and staff. I'm so proud of our district and the efforts we have taken to provide the best possible education for our students. As I mentioned in my video, ABC is known for our rigorous academic curriculum, but also for being places of fun and excitement. So thank you to our students, families, teachers, and staff for an amazing start to the school year. I know it will be a great year. Thank you. Okay, we have interim superintendent's report. Mr. Wen?
Thank you, President Yu. I'm happy to report that we had a successful start of the school year. I've visited many schools. It's great to see our students back in class. They're excited to be back, and they're happy to be back. I enjoy seeing our teachers working with our students in the classrooms. It's also clear that our teachers are excited to be back also. I recently joined Dr. Rios at the California Latino School Boards Association annual conference. I attended many workshops relating to our 3 focus areas for this year: school safety, academic support for all students, and student well-being. So I want to thank Dr. Rios for her leadership in this organization and inviting me to the event. We have been monitoring our enrollment since the first day of schools. This year, we have declined about 300 students. It's a drastic improvement from last year. However, we're still in declining mode, so we are monitoring the enrollment status on a daily basis and make staffing adjustments accordingly. But at this point, I am happy to report that our classrooms are stable, all teachers in place, and our class size overall smaller. We have done and using the ESSER funds to try to reduce the combination classes throughout the district. So we it's down to 0, not quite, but we have made great progress toward reducing class size and reducing combination classes. So finally, I'd like to remind our families that ABC provides free breakfasts and lunches for all of our students. So I'm happy to see that the lunch lines and the breakfast line has been long. I was there at Carver to serve breakfast to our students and at Cerritos L to serve lunch to our students. So I want to thank our nutrition services team and the school site for adapting to this expanded program. That's my report tonight, President Yu.
Thank you. Next, we have, I'd like to excuse Dr. Chris Aptaka to leave early. Okay. Do I need to take a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So you're excused. Next, we have employee representative reports. Okay, there's none. Public comments. Mr. Beach?
Persons wishing to address the board should fill out a card located on the table near the side door and submit the completed card to the secretary. Speakers will be called in sequence during the public comment section, which will be limited to 1 hour, and each speaker to 1 presentation of 5 minutes unless the board wishes to waive the time limit. Those who have a group concern are encouraged to select a spokesperson to address the board. Persons wishing to address the board on a specific agenda item at the time the item is under discussion are limited to 5 minutes each and will be called to speak following the staff comments and prior to the board's discussion on taking action. Adverse remarks about a person's race, ancestry, ethnic group, identification, religion, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, gender, mental or physical disability, or age may not be made. First speaker, we have Ian Richards.
Got a little bit of a cheering squad here, but good evening, board members, President Yu, Interim Superintendent Nguyen, Vice President Beach. My name is Ian Richards. I am a currently newly hired teacher at Cerritos High School and the going to be second-year head coach for Cerritos High School Aquatics. I'm coming forward today to try and petition once again to try and put to the board some form of discussion or movement to try and get us a facility on campus. To give you guys a timeline of the past 2 years under my tenure, in 2021, when I hired on in early September, CPE was closed to us due to contract negotiation between the district and the city. That did not end until the end of boys water polo season. Due to that effect, our boys were heavily affected due to their ability to train, to better their skills, and on top of that, it was a huge tax on some of the parents in regards to travel and commute and such. We finally got our pool back once girls water polo season started in November, and with that facility, we were able to have our first CIF win in 6 years for that program, and then going into the boys swim season, we had our first CIF win in 6 years, and our girls swim team was 9 points short of winning their title as well. summer comes to its duration, and I show up again at the start of the school year, and the pool is closed yet again for 2 weeks. And during that time, Artesia's pool closed down as well. That was our safety in this district. It's our only pool in the district. We have 4 teams that exist in 2 different facilities, and in the last 2 weeks, we had 0 facilities. That is a issue I find extreme. I come from Orange County. I've been a part of what you would consider blue chip water polo aquatic programs. I coached at a few as well. Every school in that area and in this region all have pools. I think that is something that needs to be added. Logistically, we have 80 athletes that are traveling 2 miles from campus to CPE. I did a poll this past week, and found that within those 70, 15 are walking, 3 are taking public transit. That's something that is by far something that's seen as a hazard. The easiest one I can find was this past year in Louisiana. Not trying to bring the light down, but let me get his name correct. Tristan Vessel was 17 years old, died driving to practice. He was going to be going to University of Texas, academic scholarship, was just trying to get to his practice and was killed just due to the fact of not being able to get to a facility that was deemed safe. The benefits that a pool can bring, not only safety but logistics, outweighs anything that affects all the kids that you see here. I have a few that are going to be stepping forward. They want to speak what they've been experiencing. I have parents that have been here, not only that this is their first year, but for some of them, they've been here for 10 to 15 years due to multiple students going through this program. I just wished for you guys to all have some kind of thought for this, and in the future find some way that we can try and resolve this issue at my campus and this facility. Thank you.
All right, next we have Thomas Simonovsky.
Good evening, ABC School Board members. My name is Thomas Simonovsky, and my daughter Natalia is a freshman at Cerritos High School. Natalia is on the girls' water polo team and hopes to be on the swim team when it starts up in the spring. I'm here today as a proud parent to ask for your support to bring equity to Cerritos High School aquatics program. As you know, Cerritos High School has an aquatics program but does not have its own swimming pool. For the students to engage in aquatics, Cerritos High School pays to reserve space at the Cerritos Park East Swimming Center. Now, as a parent, I see at least 3 major challenges associated with not having a pool on the Cerritos High School campus. Challenge number 1 is safety. Currently, students are responsible for their own transportation from Cerritos High School to the swimming center. There is no district-provided transportation. As parents, we have to make arrangements for the kids to have them transported, or they have to walk on their own. There's an inherent safety issue that results from allowing students to leave campus during 6th period and having them walk to the swimming center on their own. The students are unsupervised while walking. This is not safe, as many things can happen to them. They can get hit by a car, they can get exposed to gangs or drugs or even sex offenders. In fact, last night I checked the Megan's Law website and I saw 53 registered sex offenders within the surrounding area nearby the high school and swimming center. That's 53 offenders that we know about, okay? The weather's also a safety problem. Today was 94 degrees, okay? You can't have the students, it's not safe to walk in this type of extreme weather. And what happens when it rains? So it's not safe. As a parent, I'm highly concerned for the safety and the lack of district-provided transportation. Challenge number 2, there's wasted instructional minutes here. For Cerritos High School, located 2 miles away from the swimming center, it might take 5 minutes in a car, but it takes about 40 minutes to walk 2 miles. And aquatics are part of the physical education requirement. It's a 6-period class. Spending 40 minutes walking to the center takes away vital instructional minutes from learning about the aquatic sport. Walking is not part of the state standard or the educational requirement. The time that it takes to walk is wasted time, frankly, and the time can be better spent on actual instruction. So as a parent, I'm concerned about this waste of instructional minutes. And challenge number 3, there's some gender inequality issues going on here. There's a gender inequality issue which merits mentioning Title IX. Why am I mentioning Title IX? Because the boys team has had the fortunate they've been fortunate enough to have practice during this school year. They've had water practice, okay? But on the girls' team, the first practice was today. And that's because there's no pool, that they have to make special logistical arrangements with CPE or with Artesia High School. And so until today, it was the first girls' practice in the water. School started 3 weeks ago, okay? We shouldn't have to wait 3 weeks for the girls' team to get in the water and start practicing. That's an equity issue. Title IX came about in 1972, 50 years ago. Cerritos High School was established 51 years ago. We're living in 2022. We can do much better. So I'm not here to provide problems. I'm here to provide solutions. And so I want to talk about some solutions. There's a short-term solution and a long-term solution. Short-term solution is you can arrange for immediate transportation as soon as possible. Get a bus, get a van, but have an opportunity for the kids to be safely transported, okay? Minimal cost to absorb. It'll greatly reduce that liability right away. Long-term solution is to go ahead and look at ways to authorize funding to build an actual pool on the Cerritos High School campus, okay? You can look at possible bond money. You can look at, funding that was received from COVID, from the federal and state funding program sources. Interim Superintendent Nguyen, he was a budget person and a funding person and the ex-CFO for ABC, so he can probably be a great resource in locating funding. And so at this time, I also want to say that this is not a partisan issue. It's not whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. It's a school community issue. We need your help and assistance. And as a parent, I expect to have this issue immediately resolved on the transportation matter. I also expect on the long-term plan to have a plan back within 30 days on how Cerritos High School can attain its own pool on campus. I look forward to hearing back from the district and from the school on how these issues can be successfully resolved. And please, let's all partner together and build a legacy for the future of Cerritos High School Aquatics program. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank the parents. I want to thank the principal, Principal Walker, and especially Coach Richards. And most of all, I'd like to thank the students for being here today to come to you and talk about what is important for the aquatics program at Cerritos High School. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Daniel Lopez.
Good evening, Madam President, Vice President Beach, Interim Superintendent Nguyen, esteemed members of the board. I'm here with a few other people to ask for your assistance in creating a pool on campus for Cerritos High School as well. It is most definitely a challenge trying to get to the CPE facility. Oh, do I have to bring it down? Sorry. Is most definitely a challenge looking for a way to effectively, efficiently get to CPE. Oh, sorry, that's probably the problem. There we go. Like I said, it's an issue. I remember when I was a freshman, I was lucky enough to find a friend, and his mom was, she was able to drive me over there, but some days, she wasn't able to, and it was pretty challenging to find an alternative to that in like a time slot of like 3 hours, especially with the classes. It's not easy to find somebody else that's able to take you over there. And this year, we don't have many people on the team that are able to drive. We have like maybe like 2 people that are able to drive other people, and still the size of the cars, they're not very big, so we can't take everybody. And yeah, it's definitely a big challenge to take public transportation or walk over there, especially right now in the heat. And then the public transportation, usually you'll get there a little bit late, and you'll miss warm-up, and your legs will start to hurt, of course, and it's not fun. And we would really appreciate an on-site facility. It would greatly benefit the future generations of this program. I'm pretty sure they would appreciate it, and please do support this. what is it? Sorry. Please do support this, mission to get a facility on our campus. Thank you.
All right, next speaker is Natalia Simonovsky.
Good evening, board members. My name is Natalia Marie Briseño Simonovsky, and I am a 9th grade student at Cerritos High School. I'm up here to share my thoughts with you about not having a pool in my home school. Ever since I was a baby, I have participated in the Cerritos swimming programs, starting with the Mommy and Me classes. I know firsthand that swimming, just like many other sports, has helped students overcome physical and mental issues. Swimming for me is an important part of my life. I am one of the students that would be walking to CPE several days a week for practices. My parents work full-time jobs, and it is almost impossible to rely on them or anybody else for transportation. I'm a strong advocate in full support of having a pool built at Cerritos High School. I know many of the students here, including myself, would like to see a pool here before we graduate. I know that it takes a lot of time, money, and sometimes politics to get things done, but I know if you focus on what matters most, which is us, the students, then I know that you will work together to get us a pool at CHS. We are relying on you to keep us safe, maximize learning time, and become the best athletes and scholars that we can. I want to thank Coach Ian and Principal Walker for all that they are doing right now to support me and all the students in the aquatics program. Thank you for your time and for listening to the voices of the students in ABCUSD.
All right, next speaker, and I was happy to see this name, Julietta Williams. Come on up, please.
I remember her. I knocked on the door once.
Ms. Williams, can you come to the mic, please?
You are our future. You are our future. And the reason I know that, I have some former students who are taking names and doing what they need to do to represent this district that I started in 50 years ago. I'm going to share with you a couple of the students that I taught that have gone many places and done wonderful things. One of my little girls, Heather, graduated from Whitney High School. She went to Yale, invited me to her graduation. I went. It was in the summer. She introduced me as her second grade teacher. Her professor couldn't believe it. Second grade? I said yes. And I talked about Heather. Then Heather went on to get her law degree from Columbia. Then Heather got married. She married a guy from Yale. They invited me to her wedding, which was in North Carolina. Guess what? Guess what? She invited the New York Times to be at her wedding, and they interviewed me, and I talked about her. Heather is now a lawyer for the Los Angeles City, and also there are 3 other law states that she can practice in. One is D.C. Another one of my former students, his name is Paul. I saw on Facebook where Paul was going to be at one of the major universities here in Los Angeles. So I went to the graduation. Went to his presentation. I took with me his second grade pictures. Apparently, Paul had been telling people he was younger than he was. So there I was with the right grade, the right grade. So he posted on his Facebook page and say, now you know my real age, thanks to Mrs. Williams. Paul is a district attorney, with the San Francisco. In fact, he was. I don't know what he's doing now because he just moves all around. So to you young students, continue your education. You are a part of the best school district that I know of in the United States. Good luck to each of you.
All right, our last speaker, Sam Desai.
Respected board members, students, Cerritos High School, yeah? Yeah. My name is Sam Desai, and I'm here to invite parents, students, friends, colleagues to join the committee to elect Sam Desai for ABC Unified School District, Trustee Area 3. We moved to Cerritos 20 years ago because we wanted our children to have the best education. I'm proud of many accomplishments our school district has achieved. And I would like to be a representative for Trustee Area 3 and asking for everyone's support. Now, how will I be different? I bring my commitment to respect different views and remain an independent representative at the school district. I have actively worked with all sides in our school district for over a decade,
this is a conflict.
addressing various issues.
Camping things, not
I
in
bring my
public.
experience with district, budgets, fiscal oversights, board, human resources, board communications, and of course, technology. Safety is important for us. Shouldn't we protect our most vulnerable? Recently, our board, alongside city and sheriffs, have finally started acting after pressure from us parents to do more. The power of parents and their voice do make a difference. We need more engagement from everyone to keep our children safe. We are going to have a new superintendent. When our children are most vulnerable, our school district sadly has let them down. Communication dies as soon as there is a challenging problem in our schools. The root causes are not addressed. I will work to establish more transparency and open, timely communication between ABCUSD and the residents. I do need everyone's support to make sure that our student safety is stressed, and I stand for students and parents. School of choice. Schools have begun, and school of choice remains one of our major headaches. I invite parents and students to stand with me and stop this madness. Students' lives and futures should not be decided by lottery. They deserve a better policy. As you know, establishing a committee and going through the revision of school of choice policy did not make any difference. The numbers speak for themselves. Tallycasting the lottery process did not work as well as you had expected. 2018 demographic study was another waste of public funds, and the report and recommendations were and are being ignored by our current board. Now we are planning another repeat of the study, making one wonder about our ability to address this issue. We should stop putting band-aids to address the symptoms, instead address the root cause, which is district-wide inequality among schools, which makes parents to abandon their home schools. Declining enrollments is also a concern and must be addressed by engaging the residents to come up with an optimum solution. Students before politics. Sometimes a board member will have to stand up against ABCUSD officials and the teachers union to do what is best for our kids. question the traditional ineffective, broken process, and change them as needed. I can be that board member to fight for our kids. Equity. The story of ABC Unified School District has been about haves and have-nots. This is the root cause of many issues. I will listen to the parents, teachers, officials, and community leaders and help come up with solutions to end this. Finally, PTA. ABC Council PTA has been dissolved and it is showing an adverse impact in our community, and as more schools are losing the most important organization in our community. I will work to restore the PTA glory of ABC Unified School District. I also represent aging residents who continue to bear the cost of educating students in our schools. It's time that this new school year, with our new superintendent, and it's a rare opportunity for us to do a lot more. So I invite you all to look up Sam for abc.com and support my campaign. And thank you.
Madam President, there are no more public comments.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Brad. I want to thank all the students and parents for coming out to speak about the pool. Yeah, we heard you all. Thank you very much for your time. Really applaud all the students who were brave enough to share your concerns. Really appreciate it.
Madam President, can I accelerate my board comments from the end to right now, if that's okay?
I think you should wait.
I'd like to just quickly give my board comments, and I will cede the time at the very end. I will not have a board comment at the end.
But let's just wait for the board comments. Yeah, yeah.
I think Board Member Nishi has some point that I think he's probably going to talk about the swimming pool, is it?
So yes, I wanted to basically specifically, so I can't talk about it as part of the agenda, but as part of my board comments, I can make a comment, and I'd like to at least do it while it's still relevant to the situation at hand. So it'll just be really quick, less than a minute, I promise.
Okay. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Thank you, Madam President, for indulging me here. So the vision of CHS, when it first started, was to have an aquatic facility. I don't want to call it a pool. It is aquatic facility. Aquatics help your academics. And I talked about this last year, and it hasn't gone back on the agenda because we were talking about contracts and other things like that, and those are important, and I totally agree with that. But I think that the issue that the students bring up regarding liability, me as an attorney, are very sensitive to that particular issue. I think it's important. The time is now. And as we brought it up last year, I would like to request that it would be brought back up on the agenda sometime in the near future, because I think we've waited long enough. We need this is the time. This is the time that we have the money. So, Madam President, that is what I'm permitted to say in board session, and that's all I'm going to say.
I think, I just want to probably calm down a little bit. I think we need to let the president and our newly interim superintendent to make the decision. The reason is we all want the swimming pool in Surrey High School. This is one of the part of a dream here. But however, the money, the bond wasn't, at that time, I remember interim superintendent awarded that the bond money wasn't for the CHS, because at that time, not many people support that. Remember, the people went to vote for it?
right.
It wasn't voting that.
So are you using your board comments now?
Yeah, but now I give it direction. I think two things we're talking about.
Because we're not
here.
allowed to discuss.
I know, it's only two things. I think we're going to put agenda about the safety. I think that's why I want to put I'm hoping interim superintendent come back and give us a report on that matter.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking.
You will hear this in the future, I assure you. So thank you very much for coming out. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Is there anyone who wishes to remove any item to be considered separately? If none, all those in favor?
4.2, I'd like to pull.
Okay.
So the quick question here related to 4.2 regarding the developer fee report says that we have $5.12 million roughly in our account. What can we use those monies for?
Thank you, Mr. Nishi. We can use this money for the constructions or reconstructions of any school facilities.
Any school facility?
Correct.
could be used for an aquatic facility.
Yes, it is a
Okay.
permissible expenditure.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, next. Okay, we're going to vote.
We have 5 million.
Can we have the roll call?
No, it's not.
Mr. Beach,
Yes.
Mr. Nishi,
Yes?
Dr. Rios,
Yes.
Mrs. Say,
Yes.
Mrs. Yu.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Dr. Olga Rios has just joined us. Welcome. You made it.
Yes, thank you. My apologies.
Okay, action items, 1.1-A. May I have a motion to approve new board policy 0520, intervention in underperforming schools?
So moved.
Second by Sophia.
Dr. Zillo?
Good evening and thank you. We're going to go through a few board policies this evening, and they're all connected. This particular one is a new board policy. It was easier to eliminate the old since this one is completely different. We are setting up through federal program monitoring the new regulations and processes that are used under the new Every Student Succeeding Act, which was formerly No Child Left Behind. So No Child Left Behind is no longer in place, and so this policy is all new regulations and information that we've been following, but it's intended to give the right information for what would happen under Every Student Succeeding Act as opposed to what happened under No Child Left Behind. So this policy details out what happens when we need intervention for underperforming schools, as well as how we would request technical assistance as a district if we were having difficulty with a school not meeting its performance goals.
Thank you. Any public comments?
None, Madam President.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Board Member Ernie Nishi?
So I noticed that for these new board policies, it just says identify strengths and weaknesses. And previously, there was a lot more structure in terms of what was required in the particular years. For example, it looked like you have to inform the parents that they can select another school. You have to show them the academic progress of that particular school in every year. In fact, I remember even getting that letter saying that the school was in an improvement year, and it was a pretty good school, I thought. But I noticed that we don't have any of those in these new policies. And I'm not saying that, I'm just thinking none of the things from the previous policies we want to bring over to the new. I know it's not required, but I'm just wondering, we don't want to do anything?
So those things are still happening and part of the process. We still notify when we have teachers in schools that are underperforming and they don't meet the qualifications. Those pieces are still there. These are just pieces of board policies as the federal program monitoring people would like to see them. So that's what you're seeing.
But we're taking it out as a board policy, so we don't actually have to inform them, or do we?
We still have to follow the guidelines of the federal government in terms of the practices we use for federal program monitoring. And so part of that is that we would still notify and do those things. It's set up a little bit differently, and I don't, she may
If you
have
could just give me
something.
the citation to the law that specifically requires that after the meeting, some other later date. I trust that that's the case. I didn't see it in the board policy. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, if it's not
Thank
there,
you.
then it's not here.
Thank
Any, okay, any other comments? Sophia? You had your number?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot
Okay.
to write that.
All right. Let's take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. May I have a, 1.2-A, may I have a motion to approve new board policy 0520.1, comprehensive and targeted school improvement?
So moved by Sophia.
Second.
Dr. Zillo?
Thank you. So this policy is updating basically the names and the titles of how schools are designated for receiving assistance, whether it's comprehensive support and improvement, which is CSI, targeted support and improvement, TSI, or Additional Targeted Support and Improvement, ATSI. Basically, the policies are determining how we would work with the outcomes that we have, and we are looking at what we need to do based on what CDE is recommending, and of course Title I regulations to meet improvement goals. And so it lays out the need for a school plan, and then the monitoring and intervention pieces as those would happen within the Title I regulations.
Okay, any public comments? Any public comments, Brad Beach?
No public comments, Madam President.
Any discussion? If none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 1.3-A, may I have a motion to approve elimination of Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 0520.2 Title I Program Improvement Schools? Dr. Zillow, may I have a motion?
So moved. Beach.
Second by Sophia.
Okay, Dr. Zitla.
Thank you. So this is one of two policies looking to be eliminated because they are based on the previously used No Child Left Behind regulations, and they have been replaced by the Every Student Succeeding Act regulations. So the recommendation that we have and we took to the committee was to eliminate the policy.
Okay. Any public comments?
No public comments, Madam President.
Okay. We have discussion. We have Dr. Rios.
Thank you. And I just want to highlight that these policies are meant to provide language, I guess, for us to continue to adhere by this idea of providing for those less fortunate or for those students that we call at risk and now call at promise. And so, at some point, maybe it would be a good idea for us to do some checking in on how we are doing, given that we now have the LCFF to support new programs, and that we, how are we doing as a district in meeting this challenge on closing the achievement gap. That is all, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. No further comments or discussion? We'll have a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. 1.4-A, may I have a motion to approve elimination of Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 0520.3 Title I Program Improvement Districts? May I have a motion?
So moved by Sophia.
Second.
Dr. Zidlow?
Thank you. So this is the final policy that references the No Child Left Behind Act, and the previous ones that were approved are the new regulations based on the Every Student Succeeding Act. And so the recommendation from FPM, Federal Program Monitoring, as well as the committee would be to eliminate the policy as it's not relevant to our funding sources or any of our guidelines.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. 1.5-A, Superintendent Recruitment Plan. May I have a motion for the board to establish a recruitment committee and direct staff to issue a request for a proposal for a recruitment firm to assist the board with the process of selecting the new superintendent?
So moved, Nishi.
Second by Sophia.
Mr. Nguyen?
Thank you, Madam President. At the last board meeting, the board have direct staff to bring back to the board a plan on the recruitment plan to replace a permanent superintendent. So in front of you, there's some timelines, and the first step is to select a recruitment firm to help you with the process. And the board will work directly with the firm once you have selected the firm. So the top part would be the activities that I'm recommending for a transparent and conflict-free, for lack of a better term, in this process to ensure that the integrity of the process is followed. The first step is for the board to form a recruitment committee of not more than 3 board members for the Brown Act reason. And then after that, the subcommittee will work directly with the Director of Purchasing and Risk Management, who would normally issue a request for proposal to the firms that are doing this. I have attached, I believe, up to 30 firms in here for your, and if you have any other firms that I missed, then you can just let us know, and we can add it to the list. So our first step is to send out a request for proposal, right? Asking them to give us a proposal on this. They will respond, and after that, the board can review the responses and select from there, or you can ask to interview the firm and then make your recommendation to the full board. So that subcommittee work will do that and then bring forward to the full board for approval of the firm. Once you select the firm, then the full board will work with the firm on the process, and the different phase here outline what I believe the firms will use to recruit a superintendent. So a couple of things for the board tonight: form a subcommittee, not more than 3 board members, and you would have to appoint them. And then secondly, work directly with Ms. Josie Cox, our Director of Purchasing and Risk Management, to issue an RFP and start this process. That would be my recommendation, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. Okay, public comments?
Madam President, I don't see any public comments.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? We have Dr. Rios?
I don't know what the process stipulated for this committee, but I'd like to nominate myself to be part of this recruitment committee.
Yes, not more than 3.
You're seconding her?
So, wait, I think I'm next.
Madam President, who's
Okay.
the next board member to speak?
We have Board Member Nishi.
Thank you, Madam President. So I think this is a great and very well-organized process that you've set up here. It's open, it has specific phases, I like those specific phases, it's logical. I noticed that a lot of the firms are kind of from not in California, so I don't know where you got this list from, but hopefully we can find a few more from, because I only see 1, 2, 3, 4 from California out of this big list, so. And sometimes maybe the long distance can be a challenge to have them fly out here, cost more than $20,000 or $30,000. And also, I would like to volunteer for this particular, nominate myself for this particular committee. I think it would be good to have some legal background to make the selection. So thank you.
Okay, next we have Vice President Beach.
Yeah, I want to second what Mr. Nishii said. There's only 3 Southern California firms on here, 1 from Northern California. Not to say that they would be the best, but it would be nice to have somebody local. I don't know if there's more from Southern California that we could look at, but I would prefer that. And Madam President, I would volunteer also if you need a 3rd person.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody nominated themselves. Okay, so we will most likely we have the president, vice president, and then the 3rd person from one of you, but we have Michael Eugenio and Chris Apodaca who are not here.
But how do you make in the past, I don't think that we have let the president and vice president do so. It's across the board, volunteer to do so.
But right now, everybody wants to be nominated. Everybody wants to be on the committee, so.
Thing we probably can talk about afterwards a little bit.
Yeah. We probably will not be able to make the decision today since everybody wants to be on the committee.
Yeah, this is at the prerogative of the board. If you're not making that decision tonight, then you're pushing the process back every 2 weeks. So you will not be able to work with the Director of Purchasing until after you have the committee. So
well, this is what I would like to recommend. Since tonight we have 2 board members who are not here, and the 3 people, among the 3 people, we have the president, vice president, and the secretary, the clerk. So those are the 3, staff. And if we look at it that way, then it would be president, vice president, and the 3rd person. So we can have Michael Eugenio. He's the clerk, but he's not here. So tonight we can, if you all agree, then we can have board president, myself, and Brad Beach, we can be on the committee. because all of us, since all of us want to be on the committee, then we can have at least 2 people on the committee for tonight.
Madam President?
Yes.
May I speak?
Okay, we have board member, Dr. Rios?
Yeah, I would absolutely beg to differ. I think we're a democratic process, and although I do respect your position as president, I think on this committee, it would be up to the entire board. It was an agenda item. I mean, I had some pressing family issues, but this item was important to me, and so I made it back. I like to think that if Ms. Board Member Apodaca or Board Member Eugenio had interest, they probably would have related that message to you. Because I know I would have done so if I was not able to make it by the time this discussion item came up. So I believe that it was on the agenda for tonight. I think it is important for us to move forward for the process. And so I think if we can, among ourselves, agree on who is in the committee. Again, I'd like to nominate myself for a variety of reasons. One is that I represent the majority of the district. Second is that I have a longstanding career in education and think that my opinion would be highly valuable to this committee. Ultimately, it will be up to the 7 of us to decide who is superintendent of this district. But I think in the initial process, I would absolutely like to be considered part of the 3-member committee. Thank you, that is all.
Okay, we have next, Vice President Beach.
I have a question. I'm not sure if Tuan can answer this. We don't have an attorney here, but since there's only 5 of us, if we go to a vote on this, do 4 people need to vote yes on each person?
That is correct.
Okay, so just so we're clear.
In order for anything to pass, you need a minimum of 4 votes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is it a unanimous vote? No?
No.
It's not a
You need,
supermajority vote, though. I don't think you need a, because you have 5 members here. You don't need a 4 and 3, it should be okay. It's not a supermajority vote on this matter. I don't think so.
Okay, Sophie, you wanted to make a comment?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'd like to make comment on that. I don't think so. I don't think this needs a supermajority vote on this matter.
let me answer the question.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
not a matter of simple majority or
Yeah.
supermajority.
Mhm.
You have 7 board members.
Right.
In order to pass any item, you need 4 votes. Whether
Okay.
the board members here or not, you need 4 votes
Yes.
to pass any
We
item.
have Ernie
You know
Nishi.
what? I like
Wait a
to-
minute.
I'm
Ernie
still
Nishi?
I'm still on the floor here.
Okay, you are?
Because I pressed you turn off.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to, I withdraw, because I respect the president, vice president, and the clerk to make the decision, So I withdraw that.
Okay.
Just want to let you know.
Thank you. Okay, Ernie?
So you don't need just a majority of those present for a particular vote, because we already have a quorum.
Quorum, that's right.
So typically, as far as Robert's Rules of Order, and I don't have it memorized, but it was my understanding it would be a majority of the board members present.
Yes.
Can we get a look?
So,
I can assure you, it's not the majority of the present. Otherwise, it will be just 3 votes out of 5. That's a minority for the entire board. So you need 4 votes. I stand by my decision, my recommendation
I
to
think
the
Twine's
board.
right, because it
We
happened
have
before.
quorum.
Yeah.
I think votes
Yeah.
are with the people present.
okay,
I'd
so
like a second opinion, too.
we have, okay, are you done, Dr. Rios?
I am.
Okay, so it seems like even though we want to move on, we can't. I think we should just wait till the next board meeting to make the decision, because we don't really have an agreement. Everybody wants to be on the committee, so we'll wait until next board meeting. Is that okay with everybody?
Oh,
Yeah, Madam President.
Okay, Brad?
I believe when we were talking about this before, it was brought up that all 7 board members could be part of a selection committee to select the firm and then go through the whole process. Is that possible, or does it have to be 3?
So the entire board will select a firm. If you look at the last item in the box, the entire board will have to approve the recruitment firm.
Right.
So the subcommittee just worked the logistic with the Director of Purchasing and Risk Management and to go through the process. You can have 7 board members doing all of this, but if you can see, it's going to need a lot of coordinations. And that one, we need to get legal counsel involved in terms of the Brown Act and what you can and can't do as a board member without, an open meeting. So that's why the recommendation through Mr. Jim Baca, our general counsel, is that a subcommittee of not more than 3 to do the work. But the first important task is to approve the recruitment firm, and that requires all board members to do. So the first 5 steps is just logistic work. So it's up to the board on how you want to proceed with this process.
Mhm. Okay. Any comments? Discussion? Okay, we have Ernie Nishi.
So I wouldn't mind, I mean, I don't know that it's already set in stone that we're all going to vote for ourselves. Maybe we should have one nomination and see if that succeeds, and if it clearly doesn't reach the majority required, then I would agree that we will not come to a consensus. So maybe we start with one, and if it doesn't work, then we go to the next one. But that's your prerogative because you are the president.
Yeah. Ernie Nishi, I would have to go with Tuan Nguyen, and because we only have 5 members and everybody wants to be on the committee, it's just best to wait until next board meeting. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just have to delay the 2 weeks. All right. Okay, Dr. Rios? Go ahead.
Shouldn't that be something that we vote on as a committee? I mean, I don't know that you can unilaterally make that decision.
Okay, we have,
Let me answer that. So
okay,
you
go
have a motion and a second on the floor, right? So you either can take a vote, is it either pass or fail? Obviously, you don't have the member of the name, so you can't take a vote. So you should have another nomination a motion to table the item.
That's right.
Okay.
So what was the motion?
The motion is to approve as recommended, and a second on the floor to open discussion. You have that on the floor right now,
Okay.
right? So now to table the items, you need a motion and a second and a vote to table the item. Then that would override.
Okay.
You override this,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Good
For
job,
now,
Tuan.
we have Brad Beach.
Madam President, I'd like to make an amendment to the motion to table this to our next meeting and take a vote at that meeting regardless of who's here.
Okay. I will motion for that.
So it's a second.
Okay.
So you're seconding.
Yeah, I'm second.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
So it's put on the table to vote now.
And then we'll vote on that, right?
Yeah. Can you repeat your table? Your motion?
My amendment is just to move this agenda item to the next meeting.
Yeah. And I seconded.
Yeah, so now you put on the table to
Yeah.
vote now.
Take a vote.
Then
Take
you
a
have to
vote.
Call the vote.
Mr. Beach?
Yes.
Mr. Nishii?
No?
Dr. Rios?
No.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes?
Motion fails 3-2.
Motion passed.
We need 4.
No, we need 4.
Yeah.
We need a
Four.
vote on that?
Right.
So now what?
So now
Okay.
it's open for new motions.
Okay.
Wait,
So you back to the original motion?
Yeah, original motion.
So Madam President, I'd like to call a question on my nomination.
Go ahead.
No, I nominate myself to be part of this committee.
Okay.
So Dr. Rios called the question, so you need to have a vote
yeah,
on
then
that.
vote for that.
To
Yeah,
stop
somebody has to
discussions.
be second.
Yes.
Okay, so roll call.
No, you have to have a
President
second. No, she made the motion changed now.
calls for- I think you can nominate
She nominated herself.
You don't need a second to
Well, she
nominate.
called the question
Call the
first,
question.
so we'll take a
Which,
vote.
right,
Let's
on
take
call
a
the
vote on
question,
that.
yes.
And that needs supermajority.
Okay,
Let's vote.
call the question. Let's take a vote.
Mr. Beach?
No.
Mr. Nishii?
Yes?
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
No.
Mrs. Yu?
No.
Motion fails 2-3.
Okay.
So we'll pack the-
Discussions continue on this item.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
Trying to think of a solution on this matter.
I would like to go back to Brad Beach's motion to table this to next board meeting.
I don't think it failed already, so you can't go back and vote again. Once you fail, it failed. You have to find another solution.
Okay, another
You have to do a
solution.
motion for reconsideration.
Okay,
Yeah.
The board member that made the motion can bring it up again.
okay.
So that would be you, board member Beach.
You can put on the reconsideration, but it failed already, you know.
So
right?
he's
Okay.
pressed the button.
All right, so Brad Beach?
Madam President, I'd first like to say I was voting no on calling the question and stopping debate because I think it needed to be talked about a little bit more. This is probably the most important decision all of us will make while serving on this board. I think it's prudent to have 7 members here, and we see how the majority of that 7 wants to go.
Yes.
I would like to have this board reconsider my motion to table this to the next meeting. I don't think we would get anything approved for anybody
That's right.
to get 4 out of the 5 when 2 aren't here, so please reconsider.
I would have to agree with Brad Beach because we don't have enough votes to have 4.
So you're seconding.
Yeah, I'm seconding
You
it.
second again. So you do roll call.
Discussion. So you have a discussion.
Any discussion?
You know, when Olga.
Wait a minute. Can you push the
sorry,
button?
Let me push the button.
Okay,
You know,
Sophie
when
say?
board member Dr. Rio did mention about some representative, then we was talking about the diversity to be fair when we do this. I do think she has a, how do I say that? I do respect that, and I know with her background, with her experience, I kind of want to change that too, because I understand you and you're the president and Brad Beach the vice president, and we also have clerk, but unfortunately clerk is not here today. And when I look on the table here, who's most qualified for this, to the panel, I think, I don't mind, for me personally, I don't mind to nominate you and Mr. Brad Beach, because since you're president and vice president, but I do think board member Olga Rios has a strong background with her education, experience, and we were talking about cultural diversity. I do respect her to nominate herself, you know. So I think this is a good partner together, 3 people, work for choose the best in the future. Who knows, you know, who we're going to pick, but I think with her background education, I think she'll bring a lot of things on the table with you and Vice President Beach. That's how I see it. So I will nominate you 3. If we have to go down to vote, I mean, if we continue fail that, I think that'll be really good. Take into the consideration.
Okay. Ernie Nishi?
Thank you, Madam President. So this was a duly agendized item. It should be voted on. However, with the current limitation of who we have here right now, since it's clear that we cannot come to a consensus, and we've already demonstrated that with 1 vote, I think it would be futile for us to continue on with the vote. It's not an issue of these people aren't here. It's an issue of we can't come to a consensus at this point. They were duly noticed. This is a duly agendized item, and they had a choice. They chose not to, but since we cannot come to that decision right now, I think, yes, we have no alternative but to wait to the next agenda. So I would support a motion to continue at this point, just in terms of practicality. So,
So
what are you saying?
so that is my comment,
Okay.
and I am personally ready to vote.
Okay, so we're going to vote on Brad Beach's motion
It's a reconsideration.
Yeah, reconsideration for next board meeting. So we'll take a vote. Roll call, Natalie?
Mr. Beach?
Yes.
Mr. Nishii?
Yes.
Dr. Rios?
No.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
Okay, 1.6-A, may I have a motion to approve contract with Campus Safety Group, a nonprofit corporation to develop a comprehensive school safety plan, CSSP, compliance, training, and support for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Second, Nishi.
Any public comments on this item?
Madam President, I'm not seeing any.
Any discussion? If none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. 4.3-A, may I have a motion to approve the 2021-2022 unaudited actuals financial report? Motion? Can I have a motion?
So moved by Sophia.
Okay. Thank
Second.
you. All right, thank you. Mr. Wen?
Thank you, Madam President. So annually, school districts are required before September 15 to bring to the school board for approval a report called an unaudited actuals. And what this report does is that we have closed the books for the last school year, the 2021-2022 school year. And right now in front of you would be the report on our receipts in terms of revenues and expenditures for last school year. The next step will be that the auditor will come in and audit this report and our financial records and report to the board on their audit findings in December. So that's the next process. So as of today, this is our financials for the 2021-22 school year, beginning on page 117. So the unrestricted revenues was $212.5 million. The restricted revenues was $80.4 million, for a total of $292.9 million. That's our revenues for the year. This is on page 117. Our expenditures, our total expenditures come in at $274.9 million. If you consider the transferring out of $3.6 million, then we have a net change or increase of $14.4 million. Now, the bulk of that, $13.5 is restricted. So only $913,000 was unrestricted. So let me give you the ending balance. What does it mean? It's mean this is how much we have at June 30th, 2022. $25.7 million in unrestricted funds, $42.4 in restricted, for a total of $68.2 million. Let me repeat that. $42.4 is restricted. These are all the one-time funds, the ESSER funds, the ELOC funds, the Educator Effectiveness Grants, one-time money, and it will stay restricted. It means that the board can't touch that money. It comes with strings attached, meaning that we have to spend the money in accordance with the guidelines and the restrictions given by the state and the federal government. The board has full control of the $25.7 million. That's the unrestricted fund balance. So that's on page 117. So page 118 is just a breakdown of what I just said earlier. So again, the board has full control of the $25.7 million, and the $42.4 is restricted. And that's our ending fund balance through June 30th of 2022. So we did not deficit spend last year. Both programs, the unrestricted and restricted, we closed on the positive side. About $900,000 on unrestricted and $13.5 million in the positive for restricted. It's just money that we got in advance for program to support students. Remember, these programs all will go to support our students. The $42.4 million will be spent eventually to support the different program for our students. That's my report for tonight for the unaudited actuals, Madam President.
Thank you. We have board member Dr. Rios.
Well, I have kind of a logistics question. I don't know that I've ever, remember our superintendent presenting as the financial. So where are we with our CBO? I mean, I hate to think that you're trying to do both, Mr. Nguyen.
I present to the board a plan, and the board approves, so we're in that process of for the replacement of the CBO.
Okay.
Thank you. I have a follow-up, please. On the actual financials, so am I to understand that these $42 million, which are restricted, I get that, will absolutely be spent to support our students?
Yes, and page 118 kind of give you the restrictions, the second column. So $3.2 million of that have to be spent on the Expanded Learning Opportunity Program. $9.6 have to be spent on classroom instructional materials. $4.7 have to be spent on the Expanded Learning Opportunity Grant. $3 million have to be spent on educator effectiveness. $7.3 have to be spent on special education, and $13.3 for all the others. So it's spelled out, or a little more details on which program the money has to be spent on, for a total of $42.4.
Thank you, and I've been saying that at least, that right now our schools should be swimming in resources. I've had limited time to visit our schools, but I plan to make time in the near future and want to talk to our principals and have them tell me that they absolutely have what they need, that our students absolutely have what they need, and that we're meeting all our goals, which just starts off with our campus being safe, all of them, and then followed with the best instruction possible being provided by our teachers, who absolutely feel supported as well. Thank you.
Okay, next we have board member Ninishi.
So we're in the second year of a 3-year spending plan, correct?
That is correct. However, with the adopted budget, there's additional one-time money. So eventually, it's going to be second year out of a 5-year plan.
5 years. Okay, so
So
we have
we'll
to spend
bring that.
this 42 million in 5 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this will be all gone in 5 years. And it has to be specifically spent on these particular items.
Right. We will make every effort in 5 years to
Well, that's
spend it
great.
down.
What is this all other programs?
So it could be intervention. Some of it's for routine restricted maintenance. So we can have a further breakdown for the board on Thursday notes if you need more
Okay,
information.
because that's pretty vague,
Yes,
all of the
yes.
programs.
I understand that.
Thank
So
you.
we'll do that.
Okay, we have board member Sophia Say.
Does it include this one or not? The student just, you know how the Cerrito High School, the parent, the teacher came out, talk about a safety issue? You know, the student, they have to walk to the swimming pool area. Does it also, we're supposed to be spend some money, budget on that for the children's safety, provide a bus transportation for them instead of, because I saw the kids walk themselves before. It's not safe for me either, and I think I brought it back in here before, discuss about that.
So I will discuss that with the principal of the school, and again, we will communicate our findings through Thursday notes for the board. Tonight, you just hear, what you heard is public comments, so.
Yeah, I know we cannot touch, restrict the money, unrestricted way you can spend it. Have you ever thought about get funding for the pool?
So if we want to have that discussion, we'll bring back an
Yeah,
item
we'll
on
agendize
that.
it.
We have to agenda that.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks so much, appreciate it.
Okay, we have, okay, is that the end of discussion? You know, right now with the inflation, we have a potential recession coming up. How sufficient is our reserve and the overall health of our financial status?
So there's several parts of that question. Let me try to answer that. So right now, inflation is high, as high as in the last 40-some years, approaching 10%. We all know that. We live that. So that's something we have to build into our budget, right? That's why we get the additional funding from the state to pay for things that are just more expensive. You can buy the same thing and it costs at least 10% more, right? And of course, we will have to look at compensation because that's a legal requirement. Annually, we have to look at that. So we'll address that. In terms of the recessions, everything goes in cycle. We have been through, since I've been here, different cycle. We are prepared. We have sufficient, and again, it's subjective. We have 10% in our reserve. We believe it's sufficient to weather the next downturn. We have a partnership. We keep bringing it back. They will work with us. They have worked with us in difficult times, furlough days, cuts, not backfilling positions. So we will do that. So at 10% of the reserve is 10% of the budget. I feel that we have sufficient reserve to weather the next, recession. The good news is that, we have substantial funds in the restricted account and still can spend on the students. And that sometimes could be challenging, right? When you face difficult time, you have to make cuts, but you still have all these programs for students. Sometimes it could be difficult to explain, but we have to do our best job to explain that the different pots of money for different purposes. And we're ready to address inflation. We're ready to address recession if we need to.
Okay, thank you. And one more question. I know that LAUSD, I could be a little bit off with the number, they experienced 50,000 students declining enrollment. I know that our district also, suffered a declining enrollment during the pandemic, but how does it look this year?
Thank you. As reported earlier, our enrollment declined about 300 students, which is a lot less than last year or the last 2 years of about 1,400 students. So we on the right, at least track, but we are hoping that we will stabilize. And with the expansion of the TK program, with the expansion with Mr. Smith in terms of marketing our virtual programs and the different schools, hopefully we will gain back our students and at least stabilize and not declining anymore.
Okay, fantastic. So it's not the declining of students, the student enrollment seems pretty good this year.
It's stabilized.
Yes,
It's
thank you.
declined less. It's still, we're still declining. I want
Yeah.
to make sure
Yeah.
I said that, but
Okay.
it's,
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
much
lesser
better
number.
than the last 2 years, so, okay. Thank you very much. Okay, let's vote on this. Any other discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next, we have board members' report.
Oh, wait, don't we have another item?
4.4A.
I'm sorry. I'm so excited to, looking forward to end the meeting before 10:30, guys. May I have a motion to adopt resolution 22.22-12, fund balance commitment, for the commitment of the fund balance for the fiscal year 2022-2023.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen.
thank you, Madam President. This is, real quickly, this is a requirement from, a recommendation from the GASB, the Governmental Accounting Standard Board, and also a recommendation from LACO. This has always been available for the board. We have not exercised this commitment, but the purpose of this is to ensure that the money belongs to the school sites, get committed, carry over, and given to them. So we are asking the board to commit $6.3 million of your fund balance to the schools. This is for the carryover. There's 3 components within this. This is for school site carryovers. This is for the supplemental and concentration grants that school site get the carryover, and also the pending settlement agreement with ABCUSD for the 21-22 school year. We have not, the board has not approved a tentative agreement on that, but we know that we have committed to that. So again, funds belong to school sites will be committed for schools and for the pending settlement agreement with ABCUSD. That's what the commitment is for. So we're asking the board to commit $6.3 million per the Governmental Accounting Standard Board recommendation and LACO recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Any public comments on this
No-
item?
No public comments, Madam
Okay,
President.
we have Dr. Rios, Ernie Nishi.
Thank you, Madam President. So quick question here related to the items that we can commit to 6.376. So it says we're going to, if we don't spend it, it will go to unsettled salary benefits, AFSCME, and various groups. Could we also use it for repairs for things like, so somebody said we need instrument lockers at Artesia High School, or air conditioner at Carmenita for the boys' locker room, things like that. Could it be used for repairs? Could we commit it towards those things?
The commitment here is for sites, so if the site choose to use their carryover funds to do that, then they can. The board has the authority to spend that money without committing to that. So if you see there's a need, you can just spend it out of the fund balance without making the commitment. The commitment here is to ensure that the money belongs to school sites, given to the school sites.
Okay, because it looks like 6.3, I'm looking at the now wherefore therapy resolved. The 6.3 fund balance is committed to the following purposes: carryover unspent funds to discretionary.
Right.
Oh,
That's
so
for
that's the
sites.
that's the repairs.
Yes.
At the sites.
Right.
So
If
it doesn't
they
all have
use
to be used for everything else.
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's what I wanted. And just one more notation, correction on the spelling for the abstention.
Okay.
That's it.
Next,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Rios.
Thank you.
When you say carryover, are we talking about new money, or can you explain the carryover part?
Money that they had last year, but they did not spend it all. So that's what the term carryover. So each year, each school given an allocation, right? So they have a budget and they try to spend it down. But sometimes they're not able to for a couple of reasons last year, because they were able to use other funding sources like ESSER and COVID funds. They were not able to hire the right person in the right time. They might save for, a big purchase. So sites have a plan, and sometimes they do not use all the money, both in the base fund and also in supplemental concentration fund. So what we have told them is that whatever belongs to you, if you don't spend, we will honor that and let you carry over. Up to a certain point, we work with them because there's limit, because we want to tell them that you need to spend your money on your current students. We always encourage them to do that and ask them and expect them to do that. But sometimes, because of the situation we're in, there's other fund funds that they can tap into to support their programs. They have carryover.
So it's not new money, this is money that they already had.
Correct. This is just the carryover.
How about we give them more money, Tuan?
Yes, we are, and clearly they don't spend it. That's I want to say the issue.
Ernie, you have another question?
I do. So this 6.376 million, we know which schools have how much unused funds. So we will know that Artesia, Carmenita, Leal, whatever schools have X amount of dollars that are unspent.
Correct.
So if I could get that breakdown, that would
Sure.
be very helpful. So
Yes.
that way when people ask me, hey, we need musical instrumentation lockers or air conditioning for the, well, I know the air conditioning in the boys' gym at Carmenita is going to be expensive, but whenever they say that, I can say, use your funds. Spend all of your money. Thank you.
We'll provide that to the board.
So give that to me later.
All right. No further discussion. We'll vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. Board members report. Brad Beach?
Thank you, Madam President. I have a question for Tuan really fast. Did the SRO, was it only hired through the end of last school year, so there's no longer an SRO at Cerritos High School?
Correct.
Okay. I would recommend, just in my board comments, that we consider putting the SRO back at GAR and Cerritos, maybe even Tracy. Tensions are running really high. We have a lot of one-time monies. If we can't make our kids safe, their mental health is going to go down and they won't be able to achieve academically. So that should be something I think this board should look at. These past couple of weeks, I met with ABCFT Union President Ray Gear. We had a really nice meeting. Didn't talk any business, but he reported to me that the morale amongst his crew is doing well, and that was so nice to hear considering the COVID pandemic. Thanks for taking that meeting, Ray. I also met with Interim Superintendent Tuan Nguyen, and I really appreciate your hard work in your first month on the job, your vision and your leadership. You really are showing that you're putting safety, mental health, and academic achievement first, and I appreciate your work so far, sir. The Scouts have reached out to me several times. I know you know about this, Mr. Nguyen. They would like to use our facilities at the cost they were using it before the pandemic. They're a nonprofit group that gives back to our community, so I'm hoping we can give them the rate that they've always had. The Cerritos Pool has come up today. I've supported putting that on the agenda several times. Hopefully, at a soon agenda, we can look at that and the board can make a decision one way or another. Also, just driving around town, I've noticed that Haskell, Whitman, and maybe a few other schools don't have the new updated marquees. I know it's an equity thing, and all the schools are maybe going to get them over time, but I have had some complaints about that. And lastly, I visited Nixon Academy within the past week. The solar panels are going up fast. Those guys are working hard, and I appreciate all the development that's going on in our schools, making us more green and efficient. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you. We have Board Member Dr. Rios.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to report on the fact that I attended the California Latino School Boards Association conference this weekend, past weekend, as you know, well, 2 weekends ago. I'm on the board of directors, and I'm very proud of the conference that we were able to put together. There were over 200 board members there and administrators from across the state. Enjoyed introducing Tuan as our superintendent interim. That was fun. But most of all, I really enjoyed attending workshops with exemplary districts who have really gone above and beyond in providing for their students and have really come a long way in improving outcomes. And, you know, I know we were in person last year, we're in person this year. I'm really looking forward to us being on that list of closing the achievement gaps, not just at places like Artesia High School where amazing things are happening, but across the districts. I hope everyone had a wonderful start to the school year, and you know, here we are. September is Attendance Awareness Month, so I don't know if our district is joining the efforts. I'm sure we are. But here's to a wonderful school year. Thank you.
We have Sophia Say.
I just want to make a comment on our District Digest, the new one. The color's so nice and so pretty. So I mentioned to, I said, you know, this is so beautiful. And she said, oh, I designed this, the front page. I want to say, great job. Really good. And I looked at the inside, the color, the pictures, very sharp. And then what the bond money has spending on it was nice. Thank you, Natalie.
Good job, Natalie.
Yeah. I just find out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, announcements. Next regular board meeting is on Tuesday, September 20, 2022, 7 p.m., District Office Boardroom. Diversity DUE Board Advisory Committee, Thursday, September 15, 2022, 6 p.m., District Office Boardroom. Finance and Audit Board Advisory Committees, Thursday, September 22nd, 2022, 6 p.m., District Conference Room. Strategic Planning Board Advisory Committee meeting, Tuesday, September 27, 2022, 6 p.m., District Conference Room. Legislative Policy Board Advisory Committee meeting, Wednesday, September 28, 2022, 6:30 p.m., District Conference Room. Special event, active shooter training, Saturday, September 24, 2022, 10 a.m., Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts, Sierra Room. Our district is doing everything to ensure safety first. Second public comment section.
Madam President, we do have one in-person second public comment, and that is Alexia Brenes.
President, do you still have online now, or we stop that online,
No, you.
No.
public comment?
We have none online.
Bring it down. Can you guys hear me? You're not close enough. You okay? Hello, board. So I'm here just to say that we need an opt-out option for all curriculums that involve SEL, which is a supplemental material, CRT, and CSE, which is comprehensive sex ed, kindergarten's history and social study book for all ABCUSD kinder classes have LGBT doctrine in the books and videos. My third grader's teacher explained that there is no opt-out option, and I can choose not to participate in that section of learning, but it will have an effect on his grade. This is not okay. It violates my religion. I understand that the district is diverse and has families that identify that with certain communities, but you cannot only represent one side. SEL has been a disaster. It's only been 3 weeks, and I'm already hearing teachers having students practice other religions that are not my own, such as meditation, inhaling the universe, feeling and absorbing energies. Teachers are not licensed psychologists. Asking invasive questions about the child's home life and how they feel is not what parents drop their child off to school for. That's what mental health clinics are for. As for the CSE, teaching 8-year-olds about Harvey Milk, the 33-year-old politician who had relations with a 16-year-old boy, he also had a massive disdain for religion. He felt that homosexuality and religion were incompatible. 2 things. 1, the highlighted word in the book is attracted. The word itself has no given definition, so it's subjective to the opinion of the teacher. Secondly, Chaz Bono, the transgender, again in the books, teaches kids that doctors guess and could be wrong based off of self-diagnosis of one's emotions. So if a student asks a question, is the teacher required to not take questions, or will this be open for class discussion? Gender identity disorder or gender dysphoria requires a psychiatric evaluation. Again, teachers are not medical professionals. These are 8-year-olds and kindergartners who have approximately 280 instructional minutes of learning, even if it's only 55 minutes out of their educational time to learn about comprehensive sex ed, such as women being attracted to women. We don't even discuss men being attracted to women or vice versa, but we're talking about, same sex. It is not okay for most families, especially religious ones in the district. California does not even rank in the top 10 or 20 or even 30 for education. Like surrounding districts, please allow an opt-out option so that my child doesn't have to face repercussions for practicing their faith. Lastly, I understand that there's a law that we have to abide by. I'm not asking to change the law. I'm not asking to, exclude other students that are from different communities. All I'm simply asking for is to allow an opt-out option for the religious families in our district. Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn in the memory of Mrs. Roberta Kister, a retired teacher? Motion?
So moved by Sophia.
Second.
Okay. Mrs. Roberta Kister passed away on August 2nd, 2022. She was hired as a substitute teacher in 1978. She became permanent in 1994 at Killingsworth Middle School. Mrs. Kister remained at Fetty Middle School until her retirement in June 2005. Okay, may I have a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Of all the money that e'er I spent it in good company. And of all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. If I had money enough to spend and leisure time to sit alone,